Autistic children. Between system failure and family rights violations in Norway, removing children from their biological families, especially those diagnosed with autism, has become alarmingly common. Under the pretext of child protection, Barnevernet, these children are often targeted for trivial reasons. They are placed in institutions or foster families that receive substantial financial support, while their biological families are completely neglected. It is disgraceful that institutions prioritize profit over the well-being of vulnerable families. Often they drag these families into endless legal battles. In most cases, reclaiming their children becomes nearly impossible. This is due to the overwhelming power of Barnevernet, reinforced by the support of corrupt psychiatrists. For further insights, watch this video.
Det jeg tror...
Det er ikke sikkert, men det er mulig.
Det vil komme beslutninger, altså den ene eller den andre retningen. Men det jeg tror er, og det vi stiller spørsmål ved når vi går inn i disse sakene, det er om... Altså barnevernet har jo en enorm... Vi gir barnevernet en enorm makt fordi vi vil beskytte barna våre, ikke sant? De har mulighet til å ta barn fra foreldrene, og det er jo det største inngrepet du kan gjøre. Og det vi stiller spørsmål ved er om kontrollen av den makten er god nok i samfunnet vårt. Og det er helt avgjørende når vi gir noen makt på denne måten, at den blir kontrollert. Og i disse sakene så ser vi at for eksempel når det gjøres et akuttvedtak, så er barnevernet, de har så mange hatter, de er bistandsadvokat, de er aktor, de velger psykologene, de har så stor makt at det nesten er umulig for foreldrene i første instans i fylkesnemnda å vinne frem.
The Rosenhan Experiment. The Rosenhan Experiment, conducted by psychologist David Rosenhan in 1973, exposed significant flaws in psychiatric diagnoses.
Between 1969 and 1972, a group of colleagues and I gained admission to psychiatric hospitals by faking a single symptom, which was that we said that we heard voices, and the voices said, empty, dull, thud. The moment we were admitted to the hospital, we abandoned our symptom, and we behaved the way we usually behave. The question was, would anyone detect that we were sane? The answer was, no. No one ever did. Admitted with the diagnosis in the main of paranoid schizophrenia, we were discharged with the diagnosis of paranoid schizophrenia in remission. Now, in remission doesn't mean quite the same thing as sane. The term we use to describe the experience is dehumanized. Nobody talks to you. Nobody has any contact with you. The average contact of patients with staff was about 6.5 minutes a day. Nobody comes to visit. The first time I was in a psychiatric hospital, on an admissions ward with 41 men, my wife constituted 4 of the 7 visitors on a weekend. Psychiatric hospitals are storehouses for people in society whom you really don't want, whom you really don't understand, and for whom you've lost a great deal of sympathy. Staff need constantly to be reminded, and it's very hard to remind them. They are, after all, doing their best on the front end, but they need constantly to be reminded that the people who are their charges are not merely collections of symptoms. They are people with spouses, with children, with parents, with jobs, with mortgages and bills to pay, that they are, in the fullest sense of the word, very human and very unhappy.
Barnevernet collaborates with psychiatrists who assist them in removing children from their biological families. These psychiatrists not only cooperate with Barnevernet for financial gain, but also stand against families in Norwegian courts. Their primary role is to support Barnevernet's false allegations, leaving families powerless to defend themselves or reclaim their children. Instead of providing necessary support to help families meet their children's needs, these children are taken away. They are placed in institutions or with foster families under the justification of requiring special care. The tragic reality is that biological families are far more invested in their children's well-being. Yet, this is blatantly ignored. The Gutt på luftmadrassen. Article Norwegian media published an article titled Gutt på luftmadrassen, Boy on the Air Mattress. It highlights the heartbreaking case of a child with autism removed from his family, despite having 3 staff members assigned to his care, each receiving high salaries. The child was found sleeping on a cheap air mattress, with no proper attention or care. A question for the Norwegian government. Why are these institutions and foster families, managed by Barnevernet, given massive funding from taxpayers' money? This despite being condemned 37 times by the European Court of Human Rights. Wouldn't it be more prudent to invest in supporting biological families? This would ensure that children receive care within their natural environments rather than funneling resources into institutions and foster families